Hi everyone! I figured I'd start at the beginning and show you all how I introed Alastor to our foster Foxy. Foxy had been with us for about 2 months when Alastor came home, and she is an older girl, so throughout these videos you'll see me spending a bit more time with her than with Alastor, and that's because she was the one that really needed to accept him into her space. So a couple of things before we start. These are very much so broad outlines for cat introductions. Every cat is an individual, so every intro will be a little bit different and require more or less time on different steps. I do have 3 broad tips, though, that help everything to go smoothly. Number 1, take it slow. It is much harder to build a positive relationship from a rocky beginning, so try really hard to have the majority of their interactions be positive. If you need to spend more time on a step, that's okay. Number 2, hissing is not aggressive. If there is one thing I hope you take home, it's this. Hissing is the equivalent of us saying, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable, please give me space." Hissing is absolutely allowed in intros. It's a great cue for the cats to know what makes the other one uncomfortable. Please do not punish this behavior. They are allowed to say no to situations that they don't like. And number 3, try to have a realistic goal of tolerance, not necessarily friendship. You just need the cats to coexist initially. Any more of a relationship is a great bonus, and it may happen with time, but it should not be the end goal of an initial intro. Okay, now on to the actual intro. Step 1 should always be decompression. Your new cat is going to need a bit of time to acclimate to the new environment, so typically being in a single room at first is best. Bathrooms are great, but you can use spare bedrooms or any space that is on the smaller side without too much stimulation. Alastor's decompression period was super quick. He really hit the ground running and made this step easy.
That's so good, kiddo. You did great. You hear him?
While Alastor was getting love from Squirrel in the bathroom, I spent some time with Foxy on the other side of the door. She can smell him and hear him, but she can't see him, and I'm rewarding any calm behaviors that I see from her. I'm not trying to get her to go closer to the door.
That was so good, Foxy. She disengaged on her own. That was awesome. Nice. You're so good.
Once Foxy was comfortable with the smell and the noise coming from under the door, I moved on to scent exchange. The feline sense of smell is super important in communication, and any of the feel-good scents that I get from Alastor enjoying his brush will get relayed to Foxy with that brush. Obviously, if your cat isn't a fan of being brushed, you'll have to use things like towels or blankets that they were laying on during a calm period. Some of Alastor's scent is going to get transferred to Foxy by using this same brush, and when she grooms herself, she will continue to smell it during a calming activity.
Good girl.
Alastor was ready to be let out of the bathroom well before Foxy was ready for the next step, so I moved Alastor to our bedroom to continue with his acclimation, but allow Foxy the time she needed to get used to the smells and the sounds. Once she was only showing calm behavior by the door, I moved on to the next step, controlled visuals. I had the fortune of having an older cat that didn't want to jump get introed to a young cat that recently lost an eye, which made him hesitant to jump too. It made this step significantly easier because I could just use a regular gate and they would each stay on their own side.
Yeah, he's curious about her too. Hey, Foxy.
So remember, hissing isn't aggressive. Foxy was just giving me a cue that we were moving a bit too fast and she would prefer if we backed up a bit.
She said, I gotta let him know, you know? She's in charge. She's in charge, kid. He listens really well.
Yeah,
too,
I was just gonna say he
lived on
didn't.
the street for quite a long time.
I was gonna say he was.
He's like, oh no, I know.
completely
I speak this
fixed.
language.
Good job, girly.
Yeah, you can have all of those.
Good job.
I used the guest room as Foxy's home base because she had previously staked her claim there. It was definitely the room she was most comfortable in, and I wanted to make sure she had that security blanket. I used our bedroom as Alastor's home base and switched the gate back and forth initially to allow each time to roam the house and time to have some relaxation. You guys are going to get tired of this, but hissing is not aggressive. Whenever Foxy hissed, it just let me know that I needed to adjust my approach.
Foxy, can you look at me? Good.
So I don't interrupt her. I wait until she's finished having her say, and then I reward her for when she disengages or when she seeks me out.
No problem. He's like, I'm perfect. I don't understand.
Then I'd use her reinforcement to create that space for her. I want her to always feel comfortable saying that she's uncomfortable.
Foxy. Hey. Will you look at me? Good.
Once Foxy was no longer hissing at the barrier, even with the towel removed, we were ready for the next step, which is supervised, short, barrierless periods. A really important thing to keep in mind during this step is escape routes. So you want to make sure that one cat won't inadvertently become trapped if the other one tries to chase them. Think about the different routes each cat could take, just in case. Body language is an important thing to keep an eye on when the barriers are removed. If one cat starts to become a bit too fixated, you can redirect them before it escalates. Foxy is standing tall with her ears forward, which is good, but she's making too direct of eye contact for it to be fully calm. Her tail is swinging a bit faster than typical, but it's not what I would call lashing or super irritated. Overall, she's ready for something to happen, but not showing any cues that make me too nervous. Alastor, on the other hand, is trying his hardest to be non-threatening. He's keeping his distance and making himself smaller, but his ears are forward and he's not making direct eye contact. So I interpret it more as appeasement than fear. He definitely wants Foxy to know he isn't a problem.
Good. Okay, you want to go back in your room? Come on. Yeah.
Alone time can be a reward, so when Foxy has been super calm, I let her know that it's okay to go back into her space and just take some time to relax. Playtime is also rewarding, and sometimes more so than food. We spent probably the longest amount of time on this step. I really just wanted to make sure that Foxy was comfortable, that this young cat wasn't going to get a little bit too playful for her, and kind of undo all of the work that we had put into it. Okay, some more body language evaluation. Nice and calm behaviors. Ears forward. Nice and comfortable looking away, turning the body. And this next step I put plus or minus because grooming and lip licking can mean different things depending on the circumstances. Sometimes grooming can be an appeasement strategy, but in other cases it can be a sign of relaxation. And lip licking in this case is definitely because she's been getting treats. Lip licking can also be an uncomfortable body language for cats, though, so keep an eye on that. Should you pet your cat during intros? It depends. A stressed cat will not always find touch comforting, so make sure they see you coming and that they acknowledge and consent to the touch. I want to reiterate that while these videos make it seem like I'm paying way more attention to Foxy, I was splitting my time between the two of them. Foxy just required a bit more help to feel comfortable, so she was the cat that I focused the intro video on. Alastor was like, yeah, she's cool, so I didn't really need to do much with him.
Foxy.
Here you can see a good example of the difference between a hard stare and lip licking that may indicate that she's uncomfortable versus lip licking that is because she just had a treat. I want to reward her looking away from Alastor there, so I use her reinforcement to create more space. Basically, I'm just rewarding her for de-escalating.
Good. Come closer. All on your own. There you go. That's good. Is everyone comfy? Hi, Muffin. That's Moodalicious.
his body stays vicious. He be up in the gym just working on my business. Are you his witness? Ooh wee. Okay, I'll stop. It's good. She definitely deserves a reward for sitting through that performance. The other way I got lucky with these two is that they actually preferred completely different treats. You don't like it? Okay. You guys don't like the same treats, and that's okay. That actually works out pretty well for me. It does. All right. Everyone's good? Even though I have all these laid out as steps, think of it more as everything everywhere all at once. You can add a new step, but still continue the old ones, and giving cats safe alone time will only help build their tolerance. So even while we were doing supervised interactions without a barrier, I was still using the barrier to continue to acclimate them to each other with less risk of negative interactions occurring.
Good job, lady.
Foxy is much more likely to let her guard down when she knows that there is a physical barrier between them. Remember when I talked about escape routes? This was definitely a little bit of a test to see how they would react when there was an entrance to a safe space and an open area. Thankfully, Alastor passed that test. I opened the gate a little bit. I don't think you can see her anymore, but Foxy just went into my room where Alastor and I spent all day. Alastor's out here. Mind his own damn business. Foxy did not care that he walked past her room. Ooh. Ooh. Let's just make sure that Foxy doesn't get trapped back here. You okay, Muffin? I was really proud of both of them here because Alastor let her have the space that she needed to get back to her safe spot, and she did not guard that room.
Oh, Yuff. Okay.
Alastor, be nice. You gonna listen to her? I really want to give him the opportunity to learn from that sound and react appropriately without me intervening.
Good job, buddy.
Leave her alone. She's not sure yet.
Good job. Yes.
Is he sleeping? No, just resting. This was the step I was the most nervous about because Foxy's room was such a preferred area for her. There was also not the best options for escape routes, so I tried to set it up so that they at least had the bed and the door as options to get away. You can see Foxy is a bit low to the ground. She's moving slowly, but her ears are forward and her tail is calm, so I let her keep moving just to see how they would interact. What do you think, Mama? Unfortunately, neither one of them broke this standoff, so I had to do something. Okay, I put a ton of asterisks here because the caveat is you need to know the cats that you are working with in order to do this move. Please be safe. Do not put your body in between two unknown cats. You don't want to get hurt. So you can see that hissing was completely fine. She said, "I don't like him in my space. Please stop." And we listened to her. We did really short stints in this room just so that Foxy didn't get overwhelmed, but I knew it was a really important part of them becoming tolerant of each other.
You went into his room.
So you can see he's really curious, but he is definitely checking to see where she is. At this point, he is cautious around her, but he is not scared of her, which is good. He didn't listen very well to the first warning, so she gave him a more serious one, and this time he did listen.
Kind of.
At this point, I had really decreased the amount of reinforcements that I was using because Foxy was doing so well, but this looked like it was going to need a little bit of help.
Let me touch you, okay?
Good girl. Being very good. I'm doing a really good job, okay?
Okay. Under the bed was definitely a risk. It's for sure a place that both of them could feel trapped, but it is the next step in making sure that they can coexist with each other, so I decided to let them go ahead and do it.
Alright, well, that one's on you. You followed him under there.
She followed him under, she
Good
hissed
girl.
once, and then
Come on.
she decided that being by me and getting reinforcements was way more
Yeah,
exciting
good
than following
job.
him under the bed.
Did you guys work it out? You're not sure? Relaxed. You're very relaxed too. Good job. Very good. He's kind of cute, huh? Oh, he's too close.
So you can see, slow and steady, and we got to a point where we could coexist in a preferred area. One of the great things about Alastor is that he absolutely understands cat language. That makes everything much easier. You know who doesn't understand cat language? Guppy. Guppy did not understand cat language, and that led to a lot of issues between her and Billy.
Good job, Foxy.
Foxy went back to her heating pad and just watched Alastor kind of play in her room. She was definitely showing some pretty relaxed body language, didn't necessarily care that he was in her space, and that was a great step, great milestone. After a little while, she became more curious about him and actually went up and started soliciting interaction.
You rolled over on your side.
I know this is repetitive, but that's kind of what cat intros are. So even though we had hit that milestone, we're definitely still doing the safe space interactions. That barrier is really, really helpful so that they feel feel safe with each other, and you can get a lot of positive interaction when they feel secure.
Nice. Yeah, Foxy, get it. Are you intimidated by her now? Because she was so mean to you?
Once you don't have any concerns with the supervised interactions or with any of the barrier contact, you can start reducing the direct supervision. So usually I will make sure that I am home when they are together initially. I don't let them out together when I am not in the house or overnight, because it makes it a little bit harder to intervene if anything happens.
He's in her room.
Oh, are you waiting for him?
Drinking her water.
Her water? Alright, I'll go get him, baby. I'll go get him. And you guys can play through the door, because that's your preferred method. Alastor! Come here. Good.
Yay.
Look. Oh, that was too far. Now she's not going to like it. Alright, you guys.
Remember when I said at the beginning that your goal should be tolerance and not necessarily friendship, but it is always a very happy bonus when you do get cats that enjoy being around each other and not just coexisting. So thankfully we did have a little bit of that. The age difference between these two is pretty significant, so Foxy definitely gets pretty tired of him faster than he does with her. But overall, they are really interacting well.
Is he in your space? You can smack him, kid. Oh, okay. Perfect.
The dual playtime is probably Foxy's preferred way to hang out with him, and it's one that we employ to keep them happy. He will also sneak into her room to take a nap when she's already asleep and can't stop him. But even though she'd be embarrassed to admit it, I do think that she gets some pleasure out of having him in the house.
You get him? Did you get him? Yeah.
Oh, damn it, Alastor. Now you like those balls? You didn't like them until Foxy liked them. Sorry, Foxy. It's inevitable that the younger cat is going to annoy the older cat at many points throughout their coexisting time, so you kind of just have to ride the wave, unfortunately. She's gonna hit you, buddy. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know if you have any comments or questions. Next up, I'll start putting together some of the button training tutorials and really compare those to Billy.
Okay, Alastor, that's uncalled for.
Based on our first couple months together, I think this guy is going to have a lot to show us.
She doesn't want to play with you, bro.